The location and settings for our film was in Moat Wood, which is just on the outside of the town Housestead in Essex. The main feature location was in the cabin. This cabin was perfect for our film because it was located in the centre of the woods. This was great because it gave the impression that it was isolated and separated from the rest of the world. This relates to many typical settings for the thriller films. For example, the settings of Woman in Black is set in an isolated manner, which is separated from the rest of the world because it's located on a small island just off the coast. This makes the audience feel uneasy because they realise how far away the character is from any help. The characters in our short film show many conventions to typical characters found in thriller films. All our characters were inspired by characters from the thriller film Woman in Black. For example, Peter Knight, who plays our protagonist in our film, is dressed in black colours. His clothing style is old-fashioned, but has a professional look. Peter was aimed to have a similar clothing costume as Arthur Kitts in Woman in Black, played by Daniel Radcliffe, who is also the protagonist in the film. However, Pete has a more modern look, mainly because the time period when Peter appears in our film is 2000, whereas Woman in Black is set around the 1910s to the 1920s. Peter's role in our film is a journalist, who is shown as a professional job, which explains why his look is smart and presentable. Again, this relates to Arthur Kitts, as he also has a professional job. Furthermore, Kerry Butcher, who plays as our antagonist in our film, is dressed fully in black colours. Her clothing style is more vintage but withered. Kerry was aimed to look similar to the Woman in Black, played by Liz White, who is also the antagonist in the film. However, Kerry has a more modern style again, because the time period of the film was set in the 2000s, whereas The Woman in Black was set in the 1910s to 1920s. We chose to dress Kerry all in black because the colour relates to the death and creepy decay colour, which also shows the audience visually that she is a danger and a threat to the journalist. Our film represents a stereotypical male character. This is because our detectives fit in with the stereotypical male character who is brave and isn't afraid of danger. For example, the detectives aren't afraid when they see a dead body of the female victim. You can tell they aren't affected by the body because there is no change in their body language or facial expressions. Furthermore, the journalist is also a stereotypical male character. Again, this is because he is brave and isn't afraid to walk into danger. For example, the journalist forces himself outside to face the antagonist. This shows he isn't afraid of the danger, which also shows that he fits in with the stereotypical male character. Furthermore, females are also represented with their stereotypical characters. In our film, the murder victim at the start of the film is female. This is because stereotypically, the female character is the victim or the first victim to be hurt or killed by the antagonist. For example, in The Woman in Black, at the start of the film, the 3 children who are shown being killed by her are all female characters. Furthermore, in The Ring, at the start of the film, the 2 teenagers who are shown being killed by the antagonist are also. We decided to distribute our short thriller film by uploading it to YouTube. The main reason for using this media institution was because it was free to upload and post onto our channel. Another advantage when using YouTube is because it's connected to social media, such as Facebook and Twitter. This means it's extremely easy for it to be shared around social media, which also will help it be viewed by a large audience from all around the world, which is another benefit for being on YouTube. Anyone can access it and view it from anywhere around the world. They just need an internet connection. On the other hand, a disadvantage of using YouTube is it's quite unlikely for it to be watched by a large audience. This is because there are so many videos on YouTube, which makes it harder for the film to be noticed. Our short film is aimed for teenagers of both genders, mainly aimed at teenagers aged 12 years old. This is because our film is rated 12 to 12A by the BBFC, as it fits in with their rating, which means no one younger than 12 may rent, buy or watch a 12 rated video work. For our film to fit in this rating, it had to have a threat. There must be moderate or physical or psychological threat and horror sequences. Although some scenes may be disturbing, the overall tone should not be. Horror sequences should not be frequent or sustained. Violence. There may be moderate violence, but should not dwell on detail. There should be no emphasis on injuries or blood, but occasionally glory moments may be permitted. Because there are a few threat and violent scenes in our thriller film, such as scenes when the journalist has a knife and scenes with the antagonist. However, I feel like our film has just scraped this rating. This is because there is no bloody scenes or any strong language throughout our film. Again, I feel like a thriller film relates strongly to the thriller film Woman in Black. This is because the film also has a rating of 12 to 12A by the BBFC. In our audience research, we found that many of our audience wanted a simple storyline, a storyline which is quite easy to understand and pick up from the start, so everything in our film needed to be quite obvious to the viewer, such as the body found by the police at the start wasn't the missing girl they were looking for in the photo. Furthermore, a lot of the audience thought the music should build up in sound as it goes along. This is because they believe that as the music gets higher in pitch, the tension will also build up at the same time. They also said that the music should show sudden changes in tone when the antagonist is noticed by the protagonist. Because of this, we listened to what the audience wanted, so we chose the music which built up in pitch when going through the film. This built up in tension for the audience as it puts them on edge and waiting expected for a jump scare, which I believe stepped up the thrill level in our short film. Furthermore, we also made sure that the music crashed into a different tone when the antagonist was spotted by the protagonist at the end of the film. Moreover, the audience also suggested that the location of the film should be located somewhere separated and isolated from the rest of the world. It should also have an abandoned look to it. We followed their suggestion. We found and chose the woodland with the cabin for our location and setting. This is because it was located in the middle of the woods, which made it look isolated. Furthermore, the cabin itself looked like it was abandoned and unused, which added to the creepy feel and look to the setting. I believe that I have learned a range of technologies throughout the construction of this short film. Before starting my coursework, I had no knowledge or experience with After Effects or Premiere Pro, and little experience with Photoshop. However, I now feel confident with all of these applications. For example, for our short film, I created our group ident. This involved first creating a simple white logo on Photoshop, where I used a swirl shape and added text to the centre of the shape. Then I transferred the logo to After Effects and animated the logo into an ident. This involved adding a range of different effects and keyframes. I also was aiming for the ident to have a creepy and thriller feel and look. I was inspired by The Ring, with its glitch-broken TV style. Furthermore, I also added a heartbeat sound effect to the ident, which I believe adds more tension to the ident. I also feel I've improved my camera skills, mainly with recording on the DSLR. This is because I've taken photography as an A-level, so my knowledge on using my camera is advanced. However, I've never really had experience recording on my Nikon camera. However, now I feel confident with recording on it. This is because I know I have the knowledge with how to take a range of different camera shots. I felt like I learned a lot from my preliminary task, especially with the camera shots and editing. For example, we need to match an action shot when he opens the toilet door. Even though this is quite a simple technique, I feel like it's quite effective, especially when you want to make the viewer feel like they are following with the character. Because of how effective this shot is, we also decided to use it in our short thriller film. This is because it makes the audience feel they are following the character, which makes them more drawn into the film. In our preliminary task, we decided to film our setting and location in our sixth form at Heddigan sixth form. I personally feel that the location isn't very interesting, and we had to do our storyline to fit around the setting, so I feel like our ideas were quite restricted. I also feel that the school setting wouldn't have been suitable for our thriller film, mainly because the location itself doesn't look isolated or abandoned. Because of this, we learned not to film inside of a structure or building for a long period of time, but instead more in an open environment, so we weren't as restricted. Furthermore, in our preliminary task, we had characters that were aged 17 to 18 years old. This fitted with the storyline and the setting, because it was in the sixth form. However, the first time we filmed our short thriller film, one of the characters didn't look right in our film, mainly because he didn't look old enough, which made the film look less professional. However, we overcome this by finding someone else to replace his scenes. We looked a lot older and fitted the role of the character.